Hey everybody, it's Vicky with Dementia with Grace. How is everybody doing? It's been a little while since I've made one of these videos, and I just wanted to jump back in and make one that is timely. We have had several questions, comments, concerns over in the group on Facebook. If you don't know that we have a Dementia with Grace caregiver support group on Facebook, we do. I will try to think to leave the link below, right below in the show notes, or maybe in the first comment, something like that. But we do. And this is a topic that is concerning and scary and all of the above. Let me first say that not everybody with dementia has violent tendencies, or maybe they have arguments, but they would never strike out, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, there are some folks with dementia that do become violent and do strike out at times, or become verbally abusive, physically abusive, verbally abusive. Maybe they wouldn't hit you, but they might punch a hole in the wall or something like that. So yeah, it's not good, and it's dangerous. And so I want to make this video, one, because I'm getting back in the swing of things. Oh, that was a terrible pun. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting back in the saddle. Let's say that. I'm Southern. I'm getting back in the saddle of making these videos for the YouTube community, but primarily today, this one is for my sweet folks over in the support group, and we would love to have you over there if you are not already there. Now, again, not everybody will have abusive tendencies. And a lot of times I see more verbal abuse than physical abuse, although, I see both, and neither are appropriate. Just like a lot of other things with dementia are not appropriate, but it happens. So I just want to let you know what my thoughts are on it and what I think you should do to combat it. Now, if you've read my book, I have a book, Dementia with Grace. It's the white cover. You would just look at Dementia with Grace. There's one with a pink cover. I don't have it around here, but the first edition has a pink cover. This one, second edition, has the white cover. It is a new positive way of dealing with behaviors in people with dementia, second edition. It's available on Amazon, and I'll have it down here. So if you have read that book, or you've maybe looked at some of my other videos, you will see that if there's a new or worsening behavior, these are the things that you look at. Pick them. And being verbally abusive, physically abusive, agitated, aggressive is a new or worsening behavior usually. So we look at pain, infection, constipation, environment, medication change. A UTI, a urinary tract infection, pulmonary infection, pneumonia, something like that. Any kind of infection can cause a behavior problem. Usually if there's infection, there's pain. Pain can cause a behavior problem. Constipation to a lesser extent. Environment, just too noisy, too crowded, too overwhelming, things like that. Medication change, if they've had a new medication added, that can cause that. So let me just say this. Folks that have a tendency, there have been folks that have a tendency to be violent anyway. They were maybe that way before the dementia. And I know that there are people that live in that kind of environment and, have maybe always just put up with a little bit of, that kind of thing. And so sometimes it's not any of those 5 things, it's the personality of the person. Sometimes people with dementia get a flipped personality where they were once really quiet and gentle and kind, and their behavior flips, especially if it's a frontotemporal involvement, or a alcoholic dementia, the Korsakoff Wernicke, can't get the word out. That happens sometimes where the personality changes. Usually, though, in a person with dementia, their personality is magnified. So if they were quiet, gentle, kind, they're just going to be that in spades. They're going to start becoming, kind of clingy and just, can I do anything for you, and that kind of thing. So number one, it's not always going to happen in a person with dementia. Two, if it happens, you need to look at the pick-em. You need to look and see if it's one of those things. You need to assess the person. We talk about the grace is gather important details, routine or reminisce. Assess, where pick-em is, pain, infection, constipation, environment, med change. Then there is the C, calm, or E, excite. There are videos here in the group, not in the group, in this group of videos that talk about those things, so you might want to review those. So the basic thing that I want to make out in this video is, if that happens, you need to get in a safe place. You can absolutely walk away from the person. You can walk outside if they are safe. Walk outside, get out of the situation, go in a room and close the door and lock the door and call the paramedics. It's absolutely fine and advisable to call 911 when you're in a situation like that and tell them this person has dementia. They have become violent and I need help. And they will send paramedics. Number one, that gets the person out of the situation. It usually gets a 72-hour hold in a geri psych type of facility. That really helps because you could get medicine on board. You know that if you followed me anytime, I don't advocate medication as the first tier, the first thing that you would do if there is a behavior problem. But violence is whole different category, and that has to be addressed, and there are medications that can address that. Antidepressants, antipsychotics, those kinds of things that can help manage the behavior. So I guess, what I want to say to sum this up, I try to keep these videos short, is number one, it doesn't happen to everybody. So don't think, oh God, is that coming next? Is that the next thing I have to deal with? Probably not. Number two, there are usually warning signs. There's a, I'm going to hit you, or I'm, whatever, there's something like that is happening where you have, a heads up that it's happening. And then number three, please do not hesitate to call for help and get somebody involved. The paper trail that leaves, if a person is violent with you, they're probably going to be violent with the paramedics. The paramedics know how to handle that. The hospital staff, will handle that. And it will give you just another witness, evidence of the behavior, because you might have to get a court order or something like that to have them placed outside of the home. Now, if it is because of one of these things and pick them, if it's pain, if it's infection, if it's constipation, you can usually get that handled. But you can handle that. You can get that handled during the 72-hour hold, right? They're going to check all of those things, and then possibly that would be handled, and then there would be no issue. There are, though, a small percentage of people that are just going to be violent in their dementia, and they are not going to be able to be cared for at home, most likely. So I hope that this has answered some questions for you. And the other thing, and I have said this in other videos, but definitely I would think that this would be something you had already done. This needs to be done whether there's violence or not. All the guns need to be secured or out of the home. Knives, anything that could be used as a weapon needs to be secured. Okay. All right. That is all that I can think of right now. If you have any questions, I will put a link down below. You put a question, a comment down below, and I will try to get those answered as soon as I can. Okay. All right. I hope I'm looking in the right place. It's been a while since I've made a video. So, all right. I love y'all. I know you, I see you, and I'm rooting for you. And if you don't have a group, if you do not have a support group, if you don't have somewhere where you can just vent, come over, please, to Facebook. I did it on Facebook because that's where most people are familiar with. And it's Dementia with Grace Caregiver Support Group. That's the one you asked to be in. Answer all the questions. Make sure that you hit the I agree to the rules, and it should be an automatic accept in there. You won't even have to wait on me if you do all that. Okay? All right. I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.